What's up, guys? I'm Jules. Thanks for coming back for another weekly update. It is now August, crazy August, and can't wait for football season to start here shortly. We only have a few more weeks till we start to get some college. Preseason is hitting NFL right now, so it feels great. We never really had much of a summer here in Colorado either. It's been much cooler and much wetter than it normally is. We have this like water reservoir. It's like I don't know, I would just call it a reservoir. It's just like a big hole in the ground basically that has been over a couple of miles to the west of us, and they built it I don't know how many years ago, but I've never seen it. I've It's been more likely to see it with hardly any water in it, like it's almost empty. And we drove by it the other day, and it looked like it was about 5/6 full. Like it was just a lot of water, and so that's nice to be able to have that much of a reservoir of extra water. But that's just an example of how crazy it's been. And I don't know if you guys follow the Lake Mead reservoir issues, as far as like how then that's out by Vegas by the Hoover Dam. But it's one of those like weird pet things that I do, keep track of that. And it's gained like over 10 feet of water this past year, so this past like 3 or 4 months. So as crazy and hot as the weather has been in other areas of the country, in this area, for once for summer, it's been cooler and wetter, which has been a really nice break. So hopefully we'll see what the winter brings. It could be crazy. So what have I been doing? So if you like cross stitch and you just didn't mind that little foray into other things, not cross stitch, I design cross stitch patterns, including the ones that you see behind me. And so I design patterns that are full cover. Well, none of these are full coverage, but that are very colorful. Some that are just with black and white, where you're just stitching the black. Some of them are grayscale. So there's a little bit of everything for folks, and I hope that it's there's something there that you guys would perhaps want to stitch at some point. The website is stitchingjewelsdesign.com, and there's an Etsy store under the same name, although there is somebody else that also has Stitching Jewels Design or Stitching Jewels Designs, which doesn't really match up with what I do. So hopefully you'll can figure that out with the two choices there. So we've got one new pattern. Well, really not a new pattern, because I showed it to you last week, but I finally finished it. And a redo of an old pattern. A lot of other patterns in the works that I could show you today, but I am not going to, because I don't know if I am working on the final versions of them yet or not, because things change all the time. I'm going to show you first. Remember that bee that I showed you last week? Well, that one's now done and up on the store. It's about 211 by 211-ish, so it's a square. And this is actually a drone bee. It's not a queen bee, it's not a worker bee, it's a male drone bee. So it's responsible for mating with the queen so that she can produce eggs. But that's what that one is. Just one color. It's about 7,000 stitches or so, so it's not very big. And then the other it's not a new pattern, it's a redo of an older pattern. I redid Lover's Tree, and I made it a lot smaller. I made it about 25% smaller, so now it's like about 175 by 175. It's about 10 to 11,000 stitches or so. So you're saving, I think, at least 3,000 or 4,000 stitches of work. And and that's out on the store now as well, so as a redo. So hope you guys like that one. Progress on my own cross stitch. I have progress this week. How about that? So first up I want to show you is actually Old World Map 2. You guys know that if you've been around for any length of time, this is the ridiculously insane, probably never going to get finished, but fun to think about, massive cross stitch pattern that I have that I got from Golden Kite, goldenkite.com. And I am still working to finish this first row here. And you can see by the banner that's up here, this is how I'm sort of pushing this along to the side. I really want to kind of see where it ends. I think once I see where it ends, it'll give me inspiration to just finish this row off. But it's going to actually end, I think, at about right here-ish. And that is going to be not a lot of fabric on the end. That's okay. whenever I think about framing this, you know, in my next life, I will, there'll probably be all kinds of new technology that will help with extending the fabric, sewing some new stuff on. So anyway, so there's that. And then let's look at also, real quick, let me see my progress on it, because that always makes me laugh when I go to see like how much, how many stitches I've gotten done. And I do that by looking on my tablet at Pattern Keeper. I love Pattern Keeper. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Of course, I can't find it because I've got like ridiculous numbers of patterns on here. I have stitched 58,206 stitches, and I am 8.35% done so far. I don't know if you guys can read that, if it shows up or not. But there's that. And then there's the actual how it looks on the side there. So it's gonna be gorgeous when it's done, but who knows. So there's that one. And then the only other one I really worked on, and I only did about maybe 50 to 100 stitches on it, was just that little bit of the back foot of the umpire on the vintage baseball one. So you can't even tell what it is right now. So I'm doing full cross stitches on this 20 count fabric, which is not my normal as of late, but you know, it's all good. I'm just continuing to try to push to do that. But today, Saturday, I've got a lot of other things going on with patterns. So I've got a lot of new patterns in the works. So I'm hoping that there'll be more to show you guys next week as far as new patterns are concerned. So we're getting closer to what I would consider stitching season, which is when football comes on and I'm in front of a TV all the time and kind of having to do something, so I usually end up stitching. Although lately I've been doing a lot more designing while I'm doing other things. So I just love designing so much. Dare I say love designing more than stitching? I love stitching, but I love designing. So anyway, so I'm working on some things. I've got a cool, well, it's kind of a monochrome dragon one, which I already have a monochrome dragon, but this one is really cool. I'm going to call it Dueling Dragons, but I'm also going to do something a little bit different with this one, so we'll see what it looks like. I'm also working on a Sydney Opera House one. Right now, not a monochrome one, although I could probably make it. It's going to be more of a watercolory kind of thing. And gosh, there's so many more. There's so many more that I'm working on. I gotta like bring a bunch up to the level of publishing. That's really, I need to focus on that. Anyway, brain. So other than that, Hubs made a fantastic dessert, apparently, involving ice cream sandwiches, Cool Whip, pudding. I gotta get to. And so yeah, I think that's gonna end the video. It's kind of a shorter video today, but it's one that I was happy to bring to you because I got to show you some progress with it, man. And so super happy about that. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Happy stitching. I will see you soon. If you have any requests as far as, you know, things that I can do for cross stitch patterns, please let me know. Put it down below. But I do read those, obviously, and I am working to try and find like the ideal pattern for the things that you are requesting. So, yeah. All right. I hope you guys take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.